welcome back. Valley Varieties with April Davidson. I have Kimberly Bailey here today with MSW. Would you like to explain what that stands for?
Oh, yeah. So the MSW part of my name is, I had my master's in social work. So, yeah. So, my name's Kim, and I'm here representing Invisible Combat. So it's a little group organization that I created for female veterans. So I'm actually an Army veteran.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. I was a combat medic when I was in the service. So Invisible Combat kind of started because of my military experience. And
Okay.
then after my military experience is when I got my social work degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so with that, what do you do with your experience? How does that relate to what you're doing with your social degree?
Yeah, so a lot of times when we think of veterans, right, we think of male usually,
Okay.
predominantly. So most people don't think of females when they automatically think of veterans. So sometimes for us female veterans, we can tend to feel invisible, or sometimes, not relevant. Sometimes we can feel that way, especially after transitioning out of service. And so with my military background, my mental health background that I have, veteran and military mental health is just a passion of mine. It's really important to me, because of course, me being a veteran myself, I experienced some difficult times transitioning out of service. And so Invisible Combat kind of became that thing for me that I wanted to help myself have a voice and also other female veterans have a voice, so we didn't feel as invisible. But on the other side of that, so because I'm a female veteran, also we do know that a lot of veterans experience mental health issues and challenges after they've been in service. So sometimes that invisible war, or like internalized wars and things like that, those are some things that veterans can maybe continue to have after they leave service.
Right.
And so, so that Invisible Combat, the name kind of was created based on, me being a female and wanting to bring light to female experiences, but also just bringing light to some of the challenges and experiences that veterans have with mental health.
Very nice. Okay, so Invisible Combat, and that is how you came up with the name.
Yes.
And so when exactly did you get started?
So this is actually a pretty recent thing for me.
Oh.
I actually started my Facebook and Instagram Invisible Combat in, I want to say December. So it's actually, this is pretty new.
Very nice. So we're introducing you.
Yeah, pretty much. This is my first time I've actually spoken about this
Wow.
publicly like this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah. And so it started off as kind of a healing journey for myself. I started just blogging and talking about my experiences in the military, and I do that on my Facebook and Instagram. So it's Invisible Combat on Facebook and Instagram if anybody is interested in the experiences. So once I started talking about my experiences, people started reaching out to me and asking me, or like basically telling me they felt less alone because they resonated with the things that I had experienced. Because a lot of people in the military, they experience things like the invisibility complex. They experience things like military sexual trauma, or post-traumatic stress disorder, and traumatic brain injuries. And some of those injuries sometimes aren't visible to the outside, so people don't know that some veterans are experiencing this. So sometimes we tend to isolate ourselves and maybe don't seek supportive networks. And we know that those are so important. That's really helpful to find community and supportive networks. So as I started writing about my experiences, people started reaching out to me, asking me, well, what services do you offer? And I'm like, well, I don't really offer anything. This is more for my personal healing journey. Wow. But I realized that the things that I was missing were community and were supportive networks, and I didn't have those. And so I went looking for them here locally in the Central Valley, and I didn't find any for female veterans specifically. There's a lot of amazing organizations in Fresno for veterans, but specifically for female veterans, it was a little bit more of a challenge to find.
Okay.
So then I'm like, well, I guess I'll start it. Then I'll
take
create
the
one.
reins.
Yeah, basically. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So that you're gonna lead the pack.
Well, hopefully. That's one of the reasons why I'm on here. We have an event coming up. It's on March 21st. We're doing a Women's History Military Trivia Night.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. We're doing a little bit of women's military history and then also some military trivia. And we're partnering or we're co-hosting with Tactical Ops Brewing
Oh,
here in Clovis,
yes.
California. Yeah, they're a veteran-owned bar and brewery.
They've been on the show before.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that event.
Yeah, so it's going to be March 21st. It starts at 7:30 p.m. We're going to have a local food vendor there,
Okay.
which is going to be Sticks on Wheels, I think. And then, of course, people can purchase beer from, Tactical Ops Brewing.
Okay.
And we're going to have some prizes there and just a way for us to kind of get out there and say, hey, we're here for female veterans. We want to form a community and, get together and socially network and things like that with other female veterans in our community. And so we're going to be out there. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be so much fun. I hope people out there can join us. And even if you're not a veteran, we're still anybody can come, right? And we'll have like a local sign-up sheet roster for anybody who wants to maybe find out more about our committee that we're forming.
Okay.
So on top of all of this, the event that we're having, we're also forming a female veteran committee that is going to be here locally, and we're going to start maybe having more community events, more awareness.
Wow.
So one of the things that I talk about on my page a lot is awareness, empowerment, and transformation. So, getting us together to speak about what the challenges are that female veterans face here locally and also just, nationally and what we experience, some barriers to mental health services and things like that. So getting us into a safe space for us to be able to share those experiences with each other and just, form that social camaraderie that sometimes we're missing after we leave service.
So you're really giving these women a voice.
Yes, I mean, it's a passion of mine. And of course, because I'm a veteran myself, but also just, helping to form that voice for them, because sometimes, like we sometimes we do tend to isolate ourselves and not seek those community supports. But we're out here and we care about you. You're basically, the whole thing is you're not alone. We've experienced it. I've experienced it. I've had, significant challenges when I left the service, and it took me a while to get back on my feet. But it's doable. It's completely doable, and you have support. And that's kind of what I wanted the mission to be about.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. And so what are your goals like with this? What do you want to accomplish with all of this?
Yeah. So we're looking to form that committee, like I said, and maybe do some more events. I mean, we have some really good ideas in place for potential events in the future, just to bring awareness and bring social connection.
Okay.
And, sometimes when we leave service, or when we're in the service, sometimes a primary focus is that mission and that purpose that we have,
Yes.
As soldiers. And sometimes leaving service and transitioning out back into the civilian world, we kind of lose that mission and that purpose.
Yes.
And so I think that's one of the primary reasons why veterans tend to maybe isolate themselves a little bit, or they just don't know what's out there, or maybe they don't feel
unity.
Yeah, they lose that camaraderie and that unity.
Yeah.
And so if we could give them a new mission, a new purpose, right? And maybe, finding that new tribe, because so often we lose contact with people that we're serving with and things like that. And it is, military culture is a very unique culture. Veteran culture is very unique. And we get it,
Yes.
So it's a good place to be with other veterans, to be able to maybe do some community service work. I'm looking to do all kinds of things. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And so is there, what else can you tell me about this?
Yeah, so on top of the event that I have coming up on March 21st, I also have an online support group that I run through my Facebook. So I have a Facebook online support group. It's called Invisible Combat Women's Military. It's really generic, Women's Military Support Group, I think it's what it's called.
That doesn't sound generic to me, because the invisible combat, I mean, and you explain that, like you if you're feeling invisible.
Yes.
I mean, and the combat, I really like that.
Thank you.
A lot.
Yeah. So we have that support group. It's online. We are hosting some private events. So they're not out there for everybody to attend.
Okay.
But for the online support group that I have, we do have an event coming up this Friday, actually.
Okay.
It's I'm not sure if you got the flyer in time, but so we're doing a sip and glam. It's what it's called. So it's for female veterans and military members, and they're basically the ones that are in my online support group already. If anybody in the military or female veterans want to join that, I mean, you can go ahead and email me or just connect with me on my Facebook, on the Invisible Combat Facebook.
And your email is on the screen.
Yeah,
right
the email
now.
should be on the screen too. Yeah, and so this is going to be. So I connected with a few. Of course, you know, my page has gotten a lot of people to connect with me and tell me they resonate with my story. And so one of the young ladies that I connected with, she's a makeup artist. And she's not here locally, but she's part of the support group. She's in our support group, and she has a phenomenal story. I mean, she is a trooper. You know, she's gone through a lot of trauma and has overcome it and stuff like that. And makeup was one of her coping tools that she used.
Okay.
So I'm giving her this platform to do a Facebook Live. She's going to be doing a makeup tutorial, but also just talking about her experiences, how makeup pretty much saved her, you know, and was one of her coping tools. So we're going to have like a real-time chat underneath this and maybe like a Zoom meeting afterwards. So I do, like I said, I'm hosting local events, but I'm also doing the online events as well too.
And so will other people be able to be on that live and they'll be able to watch her do this tutorial?
Yeah, so most of the women in the group. So it's a private event, so it's really only for the women that are in the group. So it's only for female veterans and military.
Okay, and so you
because
guys
it's a personal story, you know.
Yes, and so you guys will be able to watch her do this tutorial, and you'll be able to like sip on.
Yeah, in our own home. So we'll be in our own house. We'll be in our own comfort zone, our safety of our own home.
So you can be in your jammies or
yeah, exactly. Whatever you want. So
and hear her story.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can have wine or you can have soda, whatever. If you don't drink wine, you know, and we can just sip on it and just chat underneath the live in real time.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's really exciting.
Oh, that sounds like a great time. And then it'll be so private and personal. That'll be
and so
great.
we're going to be hosting probably these, depending on how well this goes, I'm pretty sure it'll go pretty well. I've gotten a lot of feedback already.
I bet.
People are excited about it. So we're probably going to continue to do this for some of the sisters in the group.
Yes.
Let them share their story or whatever. If they have a coping tool that they want to share, we're probably going to continue to do this. Yeah.
And I think you found a very good coping tool. You're reaching out and you're really, like I said, giving a voice to these women. Yeah,
this definitely is a coping tool for me, and especially because I'm a social worker, so helping that's just something I like to do, and it is therapeutic, I would say, and also to just sharing my own story that I do on Facebook and Instagram. I found that using my own voice and being able to talk about my experiences and my traumas and whatever else that I've overcame, it's very therapeutic. Super. It's almost like reframing your narrative, changing your storyline to make it more positive, using your traumas and your past adversity and making it, making it a story that doesn't have an ending, that can continue to go and continue to give back to the community.
So you're really paving the road for a very soon-to-be successful group for these.
I hope so.
Women.
Yeah. I hope so.
I believe you are.
Thank you.
It looks like it's going to be quite successful. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
And how it's going to succeed and move on from here. Is there anything else you'd like to share today?
No. I mean, I think that was a lot. I mean, other than that, I mean, I think. Because like I said, I was a combat medic, and so one of the primary lines that we use a lot was "Never leave a fallen comrade."
Right.
And you're probably aware of that. It's part of our Army creed. It's a core value that we instill in us, especially being medics and things like that. But I just wanted to reframe that message, to never leave a fallen comrade. Because oftentimes we think of it as the battlefields, and especially as a medic, that's what we are trained to do. But if
know where you're going
if you change it to the battlefield of life or the battlefield after you leave, war and stuff like that, coming back home, we're still fighting, a lot of us. And
you're so right.
Yes, and so we don't want to leave our comrades, we don't want to leave our sisters or brothers on that field to fight alone.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a great way to look at it. I've never heard anyone put it that way.
Yeah,
that is so great. I really hope that you come back and see me again.
Yes.
I really
for future events. Yes, we're planning on them. So
yes, please, and share them with us. And so, Kimberly, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yes. And so, thank you, Kimberly, and we will be right back.